chart there, I want you to fill these things in with respect to this part here, the lecture notes. Under this column here, differences between men and women. The other columns are for you to fill up what you will do in your homework the week following. Okay, so one of the first things to understand is, first of all, the psychological differences between men and women. Remember, these are derived from observable phenomena and are not necessarily untrue just because they are not found within the pages of the Bible. Remember, these are what have been observed. They are generally true, but it can differ from each individual to another. What you know is this is general. You understand? But then you have to find your place in all these things. And remember, whatever you learn here must be subordinated to scriptural truth whenever it contradicts. But these are psychological differences in them. We've looked at physical differences, communication differences. Now we're looking at psychological differences. Number one, the man tends to see the whole picture. Remember? So he will just tell you what's general. And Kay Arthur, sometimes when she listens to her husband telling a story, she'll say, he's lying, he's lying. Is he lying? No. He's just wanting to take the story and just convey what's there, but she is so focused on every detail. You know, you want to say, but it's not him who said it, it was she who said it. And you know what happens? In Bible study, your husband starts telling a story and you start interrupting, and then he just give up. You tell then. And then when you go back into the car, he is so furious with you, you don't know, what did I do wrong? Well, what you did wrong was you interrupted him, because you keep, you know, let him tell it his way. You understand? He sees the whole picture, he wants to say it this way, so you understand that. Remember, when your husband comes home and say, what time is dinner? The wife goes in this long explanation of, well, you know, I was trying to bring the child out, and this happened, and that happened, and that happened, and he's like waiting there 10-15 minutes listening to you, and he's so bored stiff. No wonder most husbands switch off when wives talk, okay? All he asked you was, what time is dinner? All you need to say is, it is not now. It will be at why? Because accidents, I have a problem. That's all he needs. He'll be very happy and he'll go there. Instead of subjecting to this monologue for 5-10 minutes of why. But our problem with us as women is you want to explain why. Isn't that so? Thing is, don't need to. Analyze the question. He only asks what time. Sorry, 1 hour later can or not? And he'll say, fine. Then he gives him exactly 1 hour to work. But please understand, if it's 1 hour, he means 1 hour, huh? Okay? If you need 2 hours, you better say, I'm so sorry, I need 2 hours. Just ask for yourself more than enough time to deal with that. Because if you say 1 hour and it's an hour and a half, it gets a little bit edgy. You don't want things like that to occur. I mean, these are small little adjustments to one another. You understand? You wish you'd learned all these before you got married, huh? Some of you? Never mind. Go back and redeem the picture. Okay, the next thing is men are logical, whereas women are intuitive. So what that means is, for example, if you're planning for a vacation to Malaysia, what you want to do is to plan from point A to KL. I can drive that in 4 hours. And that's what you want to do. You want to zoom as fast as you can so that you get there. True or not? What do women want to do? You see details, right? You worry about toilet stops, potential jams, this, that, etc. We want to stop and smell the flowers, right? And he's waiting. Ayah, time lah. And then when you get there so early, what happens? Do what? Do nothing. And you get so mad because you hurry me the whole time. And then when we go there, do nothing. Am I right? Oh, it hasn't occurred because you all go with a family group. But the point is, what you see is the potential problems that are there, and what you need to do is to realize that you plan for them and then you deal with that. Because to him, he likes to go point A and B, so you always tell him, sorry, dear, please remember at least 2 toilet stops and at least 1 break. And this man was sharing, he says, his wife must have a very small bladder capacity because she seems to want to stop every hour or so. It may be true. But you remember, the number of times you want to stop, tell him, so he's being very logical, he'll plan it in. And once he plans it in, at least he realizes, instead of 4 hours, he's going to take 6 hours, 7 hours, and you make sure you don't go longer than that. Then he's in a good mood rather than in a bad, sourish mood. Of course, we are saying, as a believer, you should be dealing with your moods even, but we are just talking about small little things that are there, okay? The other thing to realize is, with respect to these type of things, is in terms of preparation, you must understand the psyche of men. Okay, this is typical of most men. When they drive a car and they will wait until the petrol gauge touch what? E. Because E means what? Enough. As a woman, when I drive a car, halfway you tend to panic. Quarter is like, must stop up, next available, whatever. Am I right or not? That's it. You find the guy, enough. E is enough. Full is F is, for us, you want to top it up. Men, if you understand a woman, one way of showing your wife that you love her, especially if she has a car, is that every time, before it reaches whatever, you just top it up very nicely all the way to her, and she'll be thinking, oh, my husband is so thoughtful. All these things, small little things that you do for one another to ensure that your life together is as it should be. The other thing is to realize, in terms of preparation, you notice, right, we women prepare when? At the beginning or near the end of the trip, just before the trip? Beginning, right? Because you contingency plan, etc. You know why? Because you're always thinking of the children. We are built this way by God. We always have to think of that. So men, you shouldn't get ready. Why do you prepare so early? And then you nag him because he hasn't even prepared. But at the end, we're always ready, right? Yeah, and you think, because of me. You notice? The point is, I tell people, as women, you learn to prepare a little later, and you men, for love of your wives, just prepare a little sooner, can or not? Okay? It will just ease the tension, because these are things because we women do get very uptight about these sort of things. A lot depends on different people. I do get very uptight as well. I still remember driving the van that I was driving, muttering and complaining that this guy is so thoughtless. Below E, you don't even know how to go to the petrol kiosk, which is just there, and then drive instead, must drive back to the church and let me drive that way. What happens if it stalls, if it all the way? God, please don't let it. Thank God, managed to get there on time. So that when I see him, at least I can smile at him. So if it broke down, I would have gone to him and said, do you know what happened or not? I'm also a Bible teacher, huh? But that doesn't mean I don't have any feelings. So we react that way. So I want you men to understand, if I react this way, but thank God I say nothing occurred. If it had, I'm glad God didn't put me to the test. That's all I can say. Okay? But you see, we get so hopping mad because it's just plain thoughtlessness. You understand? So if you know your woman is uptight about certain things, and we are all uptight about different things, you understand? Whether it's the house or the car or the children or the whatever, we all are uptight about certain things. And this is where you adjust for the woman's sake and help where possible. And women, we always try to think of your comfort anyway. So usually you don't have to tell the woman how to please, in terms of physical comfort. But there are some areas that you need to tell her how to please the man. Okay? The next thing to realize is that men are more accustomed to making decisions, whereas women tend to lack self-assurance. For example, moving overseas, right? You just, job opportunity, yes, this is fine. Pah, you say yes. And then you come back, you tell her why, you wonder why she's crying, why she's this, and why she's so unhappy. Because what she's thinking about, I want no friends. What about the children? What about the family? Remember how she has to deal with all relationships. If you really want to plan for a trip, a godly man would prepare your woman, right? You'll be talking with her throughout, and you'll be helping her plan, and we look for the church, we've got some friends there, you understand what I'm saying? All these details you'll learn to deal with. Lacking self-assurance, Kay Arthur, when she was living as a single mother, she was divorced, and then her husband committed suicide. And so what happened was, she always thought, no, I always make my own decision. But when you get married, you tend to be seeking the approval of your spouse. Isn't that so? And so that's why many times, although you may be a single, self-assured lady, single, but when you're married, you tend to always want to please the man in your life. And that's why you realize there's this lack of assurance that you have. You always ask the opinion of your husband. But it doesn't mean that she will necessarily take your opinion. You must understand. She just wants to know what it is. Like Kay will appear before Jack one time with a gold. She asked, oh Jack, honey, which dress should I wear for dinner tonight? The black one or the gold one? He just says, anyone behind the paper. Oh, honey, please, 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 please put down your newspaper. Tell me. So he puts it down. Which one do you think? It's like, anyone. Oh, honey, please. I just want you to know. So he put down his paper and said, the black one. And she said, I'll wear the gold. And he throws his hand. Why ask me when you... Well, probably thinks that his dress sense is so bad. Anything he says, she wants the opposite. Am I right? Sometimes women are like, sometimes it's not even a reflection on his dress sense. The minute a decision is made, this is where you think, oh, I don't want, I want the other one.